Вы поняли, да?
Hello,
Я
welcome
тут
back
про
to
Ту-Ту-Ту
ESA
говорил,
Summer
тут песенка
21.
сразу.
We're
Тут
raising
чел.
money for Save the Children, and if you would like to donate, you can find links below the stream. We'd also like to thank Twitch and ViewSonic for sponsoring us this event, but now it's time for Ahmad running Blaster Master. Take it away.
Thank you. Yeah, my name is Ahmad. I'll be playing the Japanese version of NES Blaster Master, and on
Очень-очень
commentary
старенькая
we have
игрушка.
Uranium Anchor and Scavenger. Say hello.
NES Scan.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, so the timer will start when I gain control of the tank, and I guess we're just going right away. So I'll give you a countdown, and I will hand it over to these wonderful commentators of mine. Let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
Хоть мы играем Blaster Master, но мы играем в японскую версию. Понятно почему, потому что текстовые диалоги быстрее, и все остальное быстрее. Вот. Но на самом деле Blaster Master на японском называлась по-другому. Чоева Кусей, или как-то так. Вот. В чем суть игры? Это у нас платформер, shoot-em-up платформер, но с такими элементами, как Metroidvania элементами. То есть нам нужно будет возвращаться, так скажем, брать что-то, что откроет нам доступ в другие зоны. Вот.
Yep.
Ой.
Yeah, this game is very prone to sprite overflow, and things will sometimes just fail to spawn, and in some cases that even works on bosses, although I use the word works very loosely there because you don't actually want that, because then you can't kill the boss.
Цитирую сюжет игры.
It's bad. It happens in Area 5, especially if you're not careful.
It's only ever happened once where the boss didn't appear.
Жил-был мальчик, у него была жаба.
We're not gonna get into that. That's a whole...
Still don't know how that happened. Let's leave it.
Жаба выпрыгнула из банки.
It's a mystery to us all.
И упала в контейнер с радиацией.
Yeah, this game employs two different kinds of gameplay.
Кушала радиацию,
Side-scrolling platforming,
увеличилась в размерах.
then you can get out and explore some dungeons on foot, and it goes to a more
Сгрызла туннель
kind of overhead
и упала в глубины. Мальчик прыгнул за ней в глубины
Every single boss
и нашел танк.
fight in an overhead section, and that's where you get the primary power-ups that improve your abilities and allow you to get places that you couldn't before.
Вот и все.
And something I want to mention before I forget, the drops you get from enemies are fixed based on the enemy type. It's sometimes random whether or not they'll drop at all, but a given enemy will always drop the same kind of item. And those skulls that he was fighting in the room right before the boss, he picked up a couple of... He killed two of them because they always drop.
Итак, у нас по ходу игры будут встречаться различные различные предметы, да. Вот R, вот сейчас видите R, да. R это у нас хпшечки, да. Мы с этим побеждаем первого босса, возвращаемся. Первого босса мы должны убить, чтобы увеличивать мощность своего бластера. Вот. Так вот, R это у нас просто поушены, да, которые восстанавливают нам 50% нашего здоровья. P. Поушен. Я думал, что это поушен. Не знаю, что это. Вот. В общем... Чтобы попасть во второй уровень, нам нужно победить как раз того босса. Вот. И мы получаем апгрейд, который увеличивает силу бластера нашего танка, да. Вот мы сейчас увеличим, которая даст нам возможность убить босса, который преграждал наш проход. Вот. Итак, поочередно, каждая зона требует перехода на следующую зону с помощью какого-то предмета. Вот.
So you might all notice that Ahmad is pausing whenever he hits the screen transition. This game kind of has a screen scroll similar to Zelda, where when you go through...
Ну ладно, есть еще H. Чат, что такое H? H это у нас топливо восполняет нашего... это хоф, ё-моё. Вон вверху у машины есть хоф. Вот восполняет топливо для летающего аппарата.
very fast.
Yeah, if you do it
Пока
perfectly, it's 11
проходим...
frames, so about a little less than a quarter of a second. But as you can see, there's a lot of door transitions in this run. So over the course of the run, it probably ends up saving anywhere from 20 to 30 seconds if you do them all correctly. Not sure if I've ever actually counted. The other thing is that it does actually,
Да все не душите.
because of
Вот,
the
H
fact that
пополняет топливо, да, H-off. Пускай будет H-off. Восполняет топливо нашего летающего аппарата. Потом, позже вы увидите пистолет. Да. У нас инвертарь есть, конечно же, тоже управляемый инвертарь. Вот. Пистолет.
In a run that doesn't use warps, you would actually kill some of those skeletons because they drop hover sometimes, which
потом мы еще будем собирать ракеты, да?
Later on. But in reset,
будем летать, собирать
in any
ракеты,
other
мы
reset
будем
categories,
постреливать тремя ракетами подряд. Это рокет. Ракета — это рокет.
Будет
Будет еще H-ракета. H-рокет. Они будут до 4 ракет самонаводящихся выпускать. На вторую арию мы уже прошли, это у нас был средневековый замок. Вот. Сейчас мы должны... Мы получаем 5 буст нашего бластера.
It works on 3 of the bosses you're going to see in this run.
Вот, мы снова... Так как у нас стены бетонные, да, в средневековом замке, бетонные стены, нам нужно их пробивать. Чтобы их пробивать, мы должны от босса получить буст своего бластера. Вот. Мы получаем его, и сейчас мы благодаря этому переходим на 3-ю арию.
But no, I was just going to say an interesting little tidbit about the grenade glitch is that it only works on the bosses that have a palette swapped variant in another part of the game. So areas 2 and 6 share the same boss with a palette swap, and likewise 4 and 7 share a boss, and those are the only ones the grenade glitch works properly on. The bosses it doesn't work on, you can kind of do a modified
version ария, высокотехнологичная ария. Да, в замке на танке очень классно. Особенно, что это танк. Я вам серьезно, я вот цитата в цитату процитировал сюжет, что жаба нашла танк. Вот. То есть мы действительно в танке, который нашла жаба, передвигаемся по средневековому замку, который делали из бетона. Как вам такое?
So the Crusher ends up doing twice the damage of the shot you start with, and there's going to be some barriers later that you have to use the Crusher in order to get past. In Area 7, there's actually like there's rooms that are full of destructible blocks, but we're actually going to be skipping basically all of Area 7 with a glitch that was discovered a few years ago. It's fairly reliable, but it's consistent enough.
Высокотехнологичный
tight enough timing that
после этого уровня мы научимся летать.
And the Area 7 skip in this game is really interesting. It's gone over... We've been skipping Area 7 for a while, but in a lot of different ways. Originally, there was a frame perfect or the game soft lock skip.
Я не знаю, я как будто не спидраны комментирую, я 2 считаю.
Then somebody found another skip at the first part of the level that took you to right where the other skip happened. The two of those combined...
Бластер Мастер — это игра, на самом деле, мечта.
Minute and 15 seconds.
2 вчера.
But then somebody found another method where the second of the skips, the one where you can soft lock if it's not frame perfect, they found a way of losing 3 seconds, but making it super consistent, not frame perfect or soft lock anymore. And then after all that work got done, it got thrown down the garbage because somebody found a way to just go into the dungeon and damage boost over the lava.
Yep. Although the version you're going to see in this run, for some reason, it only works in the Japanese version. We haven't really dug into why, but we just know that it doesn't work in the US version for some reason.
I actually have a theory on that. They kind of like made the ice physics more aggressive in the US version. Your acceleration takes a much sharper hit at the start of movement. So I think it's just you don't have as much or has instantaneous acceleration over the ice physics over the lava, so you just don't get the distance.
Yeah,
This
you know
game
what?
actually counts, as UA already knows, this game actually counts damaging floor tiles as ice tiles in the engine.
Yeah. Well, the instant death ones, yeah, are also tagged as ice. It's like
босс
it
третьей
uses
арены
the
сейчас
same
будет.
attribute.
Вот.
It's just it checks to see if you're in area 6 before killing you, and if you're in area 6, then it doesn't kill you, and you just get ice physics instead. But you also get the ice physics if you're currently invincible, because, well, you didn't die, so it must be ice.
We're coming up on the Area 3 boss here. This is Photophage. It's a series of boxes that are just going to spawn around the room and shoot things. If you don't kill them, they can pile up and really just ruin your run. They just can overwhelm you very
Босс
quickly.
квадрат.
That was
Будем называть босс
98%
квадратом.
perfect. Yeah.
Он у нас
If you
телепортируется
let
по
those get away
диагонали
from you, it
влево-вправо.
can
Вот.
turn that boss fight into a huge mess. Okay,
no.
so
Reset the game.
this is
Мы
something
на
that only works
предикте
in the
просто
Japanese
стреляем.
version. If you
Вот.
soft reset,
И теперь мы
for
получаем
some reason you
возможность...
still keep all the power-ups you picked up, all the permanent power-ups. And so as you can see, he's got a
Ага.
hover bar now.
Только
it's
что
only works in
ранее
the
ресетнул
Japanese
игру.
version. For whatever reason, it just doesn't take your power-ups away. I'm not really sure why, but this version also has infinite continues.
It's
So
Я не
you may
понял,
have
что
something to do with
произошло.
that.
It's actually because there's no intro or demo cutscenes in the Japanese version, and the demo cutscenes are what reset the flags on the US version when you reset.
А, не, все хорошо. Нет, все хорошо.
I could believe that, yeah. This isn't a great hover farm. This is the one big moment of RNG in this category.
Мы
Okay,
ресетнулись до
that was
чекпоинта.
alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can lose a lot of time there. David's run in 2019 at SGDQ, he managed to get 3 hover from 4 enemies, and they all spawned really fast, and so it was like one of the fastest hover farms I'd ever seen.
Тоже все по плану. Как вот видите, возможность летать, да?
But that was still alright. Like that,
Вот.
I would still, like, if I was working on a PB or a world record attempt, I would still have accepted that hover farm because there's enough other places where things can go wrong.
Definitely.
But that's the biggest moment of randomness in this category.
So coming up in this next room, Ahmad's going to pop out of his tank and turn around at the same time he goes to enter the door. That's going to confuse the game and make him enter the door the wrong way, which kind of offsets his internal position and puts him on the other side of the room, allowing him to skip the Area 4 barrier. He's going to use that same glitch to kind of offset the
Мы попадаем на 5-й уровень. Как понятно, машина не может плавать. О,
So by doing
вау.
this 3 times, he can get
Так как
around
машина не может...
pause and unpause, and he is now skipping through onward to Area 5.
В общем, здесь интересный трик.
That's important because by skipping the Area 4 gate, you don't have your tank, and you need your tank to destroy those blocks.
В текстуре есть небольшая заминка, о которой как бы игра не знает, но знает ранее. Вот. И мы возвращаемся через эту заминку и падаем в зону. И как бы игра думает, что нас в зоне нету, и поэтому все текстуры становятся прозрачными. Вот. Благодаря этому мы пролетаем. Вот. Поскольку машина плавать не умеет, плывем мы сами, то есть своим персонажем. Так это не жаба плавает. Это мальчик плавает.
And he'll use like the actual controller and everything, so that'll be a really funny bonus game. It's set as the goal for $1,500, which is the highest incentive we've had yet. We have a lot of time to meet it, but it's only at $167 right now. So if you want to see some speedrun fishing action, get your donations in and pick that incentive. There are of course other incentives and a whole bunch of bid wars to put your money towards. So have a look, see what you want to put it towards, and you'll be helping to save the children as well. So yeah, thanks a lot.
Definitely get those in, guys. So you might have noticed Ahmad taking a death. That's setting up another kind of skip. He's going to not have to
перед каждым переходом на локацию мы включаем селект, так быстрее мы прилоудим следующую локацию. Ну не селект, а...
Only one
Menu.
pause. Okay, so this is a trick that sort of works in the US version, but the Japanese version has a much more forgiving setup because you can pause it during a particular part of the fade, and it breaks.
После
It
убийства
completely
этого
toasts the
босса,
graphics. It traps the boss in the corner. He can't hurt you, and you can just kill him. And that, if not for that, that would be the second most random part of the run.
после
because
убийства
his
этого
movement pattern is
босса наша
completely
машина
random, and he
обретает
becomes really
возможность
hard to
плавать
hit
под
if he
водой.
starts moving
Вот.
around. But doing that trick traps him in the corner, and you can just kill him.
Yeah, it's.
And then, as you can see, he died basically immediately after he picked up the power up, which allows the tank to turns the tank into a submarine. But it puts him back at the beginning of the level, and as it turns out, the entrance to Area 6 is basically at the beginning of Area 5. So you save that entire swim back through Area 5, and it saves a bunch of time.
And now Area 6, the
Это softlock.
absolutely Nintendo mandated ice level in a NES game.
Obligatory, yep.
They won't give you that seal of whatever if you don't put an ice level in your game. It's a fact. But here you're going to see just some more lag reduction. Platforming here is a little bit trickier than it looks because this game has some pretty strong ice physics. The Japanese version, it's toned down
Ледяной
a little
уровень.
bit compared
Вот.
to the US, where it's
Машина
really, really harsh,
по
but even in the
ледяным
Japanese
платформам
version, the ice
перемещается
physics
очень
are
медленно. Вот.
pretty strong.
I would say when
Поэтому
I'm
здесь
doing
нам нужно убить
attempts at
босса,
this game, this
чтобы
stage is the most unreliable
перемещаться
simply
по
because of the ice
стенам.
physics. There's so
Вот.
many jumps in here that are
Мы получим
hard to
возможность,
get right
убив
the
здесь
first
босса, мы
try.
получим возможность перемещаться по
There's one in
стенам. Вот.
particular
И
that
чтобы
is
попасть
really
в седьмой
risky,
уровень после
but
убийства босса
most of
здесь,
them are just
нам
like,
нужно будет
well, I missed it, now I just get to jump over
вернуться
the
во
ledge again.
второй
It
уровень.
gets pretty annoying. And he got it. Okay, he got the risky jump. We call that the leap of faith. If you fall there, you lose like 30 seconds. Doing it saves maybe a second. But missing it costs you about 30.
Yeah.
There's the hover pickup that we were referring to earlier in the run. Just kind of in the way. Or, yeah, homing missile.
Yeah.
H. They both start with H. It's a big icon with an H.
Интересные эти
They have H
Коля,
on the icon. It's easy to get confused.
Коля, которого не колет.
Yeah.
So he's gonna
Коля, который
potentially
не
use
Коля.
those in this room right here, and that's basically
Вот.
the only place you use them in this
Мы
category.
просто
There's a
падаем
couple
на
other
Коля
places
и
in
не
some of the...
заморачиваемся
Okay,
о том уроне,
perfect.
который мы
It's like
получили.
there's a one time in the entire run you
Совершенно.
use a homing missile. There's a couple other places in some of the other categories, but unfortunately, he's in this category. After he beats the Area 6 boss, he's gonna softer set again, which while it will keep his permanent power-ups, he loses things like his hover bar and any of the special weapons.
So a cool strat right here, by pausing and unpausing, it causes all these destructible blocks to come back. So you can kind of just break some, jump, pause and unpause, and get stuck in the wall to jump up further.
Yep, and because of the fact that we're skipping most of Area 7, that is the most intricate block puzzle you will see in this entire run.
So for
Босс
some reason,
Ария.
you can just walk along the bottom of the screen there and not take damage.
Как вы могли понять, мы должны перемещаться по стандартному маршруту, то есть по платформе, да, от зоны к зону. Но у всего есть предел, и у Колев тоже. То есть тот спрат Колев, он выходит за зону, и мы можем просто рядышком с Колеями идти, и он не будет наносить нам урон. Потому что хитбокс, нанесение урона не такое, как хитбокс самих Колев.
RAM to work with, so
Boss Arия 6.
there's a lot of they had to optimize a lot of stuff.
Boss actually died cooperatively there.
Yeah.
Здесь мы кидаем бомбочку, в ней зависает просто, босс зависает в этой бомбочке, и об этом гличе рассказывали заранее. Просто кидаем бомбочку, и босс зависает в этой бомбочке. Мы рестартим его чекпоинт.
Maniacal zombie trying to take you out and ruin your run.
And lagging like hell because of all the explosions that are on the screen. It's a little
Сейчас
less
мы
likely in the
вернемся на второй
Japanese
уровень.
version for whatever reason, but I've still seen it happen.
И где была комната с
You okay
высокими
for a quick
стенами,
donation?
если вы еще помните ее.
Awesome. Okay, we got a.
Вот, так как мы
bit of a
получили
confusing one,
возможность,
but I'm gonna go
как я
for it.
говорил
We
ранее,
got a $10 donation
перемещаться
from
по
Anonymous,
стенам.
who says, And fish go
Вертикальное
blub,
положение.
and the seal goes ow ow ow, but there's one sound that no one knows. What did the fox say? And I know it's a reference to a song, but I don't know
Вот так,
why.
как сейчас демонстрирует Раня.
But at least they put their $10 towards Sega bass fishing, so that's that. So yeah, thank you Anonymous for the $10 donation.
Представьте, что вам 8 лет, и вы должны до этого сами додуматься.
All right, so the power-up that he got from killing that last boss allows the tank to drive up vertical walls, which you'll really only see a couple of times. I guess you'll only see it really on the way to Area 7 and then also on the way to Area 8. Normally, you would also use it throughout Area 7 to get around certain areas, but as we said before, he's going to be skipping most of Area 7.
And this game controls so well until you get the second of the 2 wall upgrades.
Yep.
Which allows you to go along ceilings and down walls, and it has the added side effect of if you're anywhere near the edge of a platform and you try to jump, the wall 2 overrides your jump and you go down the face of the wall.
Yep.
And they fixed it in the they made a modern remake of this game. It was originally Switch and 3DS exclusive, but now it's available for Steam, Xbox One, every console you can imagine. Blaster Master Zero. They gave Wall its own dedicated button, which was a huge quality of life improvement. And I also recommend anybody that likes this run or this game check out the remake because it's just as good.
Okay, shut up. This is the hardest part of the run.
Yes! Okay.
Nice! That's really precise, and if you screw it up, you die. It's not a huge time loss because you have infinite continues, and so you can theoretically just keep trying until you get it, but it's at least 15 seconds of time loss every time you mess that up. So the fact that he got it right the first time is real good.
Oh, got that high-pitched grenade churn.
Really hard to tell when it's dead.
Yep. I usually listen to a certain beat in the music. I find that tends to work pretty well for me.
True.
So now he's going to game over again because it actually put him at the entrance to the side tunnel where you're supposed to go in the boss door, which is like you can't reach it without the tank. And walking back and doing the trick in the other direction is way slower than just game overing. So in the warpless categories, you do actually have to walk all the way back on the Japanese version and do the skip and reverse. Yeah. Like then faster to game over.
Так.
That hover drop was amazing.
Кстати, рассказывал, пока...
I don't know exactly what the likelihood
Пока мы ползли по туториале, комментатор рассказывал про Blaster Master Zero, которая недавно выходила для всех вообще возможных платформ, включая 3DS. Вот. Ну, естественно...
Like those skulls in Area 1 that drop the missiles, as far as I know,
сейчас мы уже в Арии 7, да?
I've heard 40% as the drop rate from the pink caterpillars.
I could theoretically go check because actually, I found the data table for all of that stuff, but I'd have to go digging through my notes and figuring it out.
Кстати, вы спросите меня, почему мы передвигаемся по стене, допустим, вертикально, а не долетим, да? Вот. Потому что не хватает топлива нам. Просто не хватит топлива, да. Даже если собрать полную полоску топлива, то нам не хватит топлива, чтобы долететь до туда.
Really tricky to get past. With hover, it's trivial.
Yep. So he's going to be taking some intentional damage at a couple spots here just because it's way faster than doing it the way you're quote-unquote supposed to do it. But yeah, thankfully, like, some of these enemies will drop health fairly often, and so he can grab some refills just for safety. Okay, that room right there. That's probably the second most dangerous room in the run.
Вот, у нас был 7 уровень, к слову,
And you
Вот.
can kind of see why. There's just
Мы получили возможность ездить по
everywhere,
потолку,
the
мы вернулись в
jumps are
третий уровень. Что
pretty
происходило, да, пока меня
precise.
не было?
The purple
В
hackway.
7
Yeah,
уровне мы обрели
the
возможность
caterpillars
съездить
are
по потолку.
surprisingly
Мы
difficult
вернулись
to hit. That wasn't perfect, but that was
назад в
still really
третий.
good. Like he barely slowed down.
Там была
And he
секция
took
с
a bit more
большими
damage than
шипами.
he'd
Мы
really
проехали
like, but he's
назад.
got enough health that he's
Вот.
probably
И
okay.
переходим в 8 уровень.
Yeah,
Это
the game is just
последний уровень,
made
8,
even worse by
инопланетный,
the
да, как
fact
вы
that
можете
Wall
видеть.
2 is just
Очень
trying to
такой
make you go
насыщенный
into the
цветами.
spikes the entire trek down that hallway.
He's got
Почему-то
plenty
вот
of health, though. He ought to be completely fine.
80-е очень любили инопланетное
Taking
все
out
изображать
tons of
какими-то
enemies to
инородными
reduce
цветами,
lag
как
because
будто,
the
знаете,
screen can lag really
смешивать
heavily.
несмешиваемые палитры.
Yeah, these red skulls,
Это
they not only
единственная
drop
ария в
bombs,
игре,
but then when the bombs
где
explode, they
присутствуют
spawn an
все
enemy.
два
So if you
босса.
can take them out on your way over there, it can save a
Ну, скорее всего, да.
non-trivial
Но это
amount of
просто
time
инопланетный
just from
уровень.
the
Не
reduced
придавайте
lag.
это значения.
I still do not understand
Вот.
why there are power-ups in these rocks, because this is the last part of the game and you never go back to the tank. I do not know why they stuck power-ups in there. Okay, so there's actually two bosses he's going to fight here, and for this first one, he's going to do a modified version of the pause trick, and it doesn't, as you can see, it disappears every time you pause.
Не придавайте значения тому, что он нечаянно разбивал
разбивал
другие текстуры.
So the fact that you're pausing it means, and
Вот,
then
это
unpausing it rapidly
нужно-
means it moves a lot less.
Нужно только для того, что потому что он затапливает
and,
кнопку.
it
Очень
means it
много
has less time
тапит
to
по
shoot at
кнопке.
you, and so it doesn't end up saving time, but it's a lot safer. And then for this boss, for whatever reason, it can't hurt you if it's in its own iframes. And so if you can mash grenade fast enough, you can just keep him invincibility frame locked and kill him.
According to my math back in the day, it's about 8 inputs per second to hold this.
Yeah, that sounds
grenade
about
stun.
right. I want it. Okay, it's about time.
Это фреймлок.
And
Это прием
time.
под названием фреймлок, то есть босс не может выйти из-под
Вау.
нас.
Okay,
Мы
like
встаем
looking
в
at
то
the
место,
screen, this
откуда
is
он
gonna
должен
be a
выйти,
this is gonna
и
be like a
он
low
просто не
26.
выходит.
This is really good.
И мы его
What was the time?
фреймлокаем. И к слову, тайм. Да.
2605-ish, it looks like.
2607, roughly.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's really good. That's better than my PB by at least 20 seconds. So
Wow. Okay, well, I'm mostly happy about getting the Area 7 skip on the first try, because obviously that's
Ой-ой-ой.
notoriously difficult.
Battle
in
Axe
the
на
game,
очереди.
but, slight hiccups every now and then stop my movement, but overall, like, almost sub the 26, so I can't really feel bad about that now, can I?
yeah, I mean, if you'd had the hover farm that David had gotten, that definitely would have been a sub 26, but can't
yeah.
have it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
that
really the only
was-
thing that I can think of that like went poorly was the hover farm.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much the only thing. Obviously, thank you, Uranimanker and Scavenger, coming over to help with the commentary. Appreciate that, because both of you have been one of my biggest inspiration to start the game in the first place. So thank you so much.
Well, you're more than welcome. Yeah, I just for some backstory, I have been speedrunning this game since 2009, so I've been at this for a very long time.
Obviously, thank you ESA for having me here. Not only for one run, so 2 runs altogether. So I'm humbled and honored to have this chance, even though it's a debut run. Well, the first one was a debut run. This is the second run, but still, thank you so much. And is there something you guys want to add?
Nothing I can think of other than good run. Like, that was an excellent run, and if you enjoyed this game, give it a try yourself. We have a pretty friendly community.
Yep.
Always looking for more runners. This game kind of like is very, I feel it's underloved and doesn't have enough people running it. So
Sure.
all of you watching can change that for us.
Definitely.
Before I forget, there's actually one of the sequels to this game is hitting Steam and Switch, and I want to say PS4 today. Blaster Master 03 is out today. Go get it.
Literally released 1 hour ago.
Nice. Yeah, indeed. But yeah, thank you guys. See you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right, awesome. Thank you a lot for that run. Coming up next, we have Jimmy Diamonds running Battle Axe. So stay tuned and we'll be right back.
Have you checked out speedrunstore.com yet?